Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Wanda, and if this is your first time, we are delighted that you have chosen to join us today. With modern technology, we are extremely grateful for this opportunity to touch so many lives, especially through Zoom and Facebook, and to share the wonderful happenings here at CSL Charlotte. So please feel free to visit our website, cslcharlotte.org, put in a prayer request, and subscribe. We add our recordings to the website each week. The Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a new thought community living an ancient wisdom philosophy based on the science of mind. This science of mind philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Dr. Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He studied truths from all of the world's religious traditions and spiritual paths. Holmes developed a way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into our world. At CSL Charlotte, every philosophy is honored along with every race, sexual orientation, and physical distinction. This is truly a diverse community. There are many paths to the divine. We can call it God, peace, love, spirit, great spirit, source, whatever you call it, that is your power. It is that which resonates within you. You do not have to leave your philosophy or nature of knowledge. You can simply join us anytime. We recognize and refer to many holy scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Bhagavad Gita, just to name a few. Our vision statement is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of future leaders who can fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles, messages, and practices that strengthen the mind, body, and spirit of each individual. One of our aims is to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in this community. We teach everyone the tools to do just that. So come and join us as we meet each Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So welcome everyone and enjoy our service today as we celebrate this powerful being which lives deep within each and every one of us. And before I even introduce our illustrious spiritual leader, Reverend Rosedale, know that I have known her for a long time, and I know that she always opens herself to spirit, and she acts as that conduit for spirit to speak to us, and through her. And so right now, I invite you to hear what she has to say today. So Reverend Rosedale, take it over.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Wanda. That was such a calm and peaceful, wonderful way of bringing us together. So, anyway, welcome everybody near and far, especially YouTube streamers. So, this is the CSL Charlotte, the Mind Body Spirit Center. And what I want to do is say to you that you're welcome here no matter where we are. You're going to hear some good news about us pretty shortly, and stay tuned. So, in celebrating the integration of the Mind, Body, and Spirit Center, we open up with a wonderful opening and affirmative prayer. We have our prayer partner who is Reverend Karen. She's one of our prayer partners, my prayer partners. So she's all of our prayer partners, and she's my spiritual sister. So anyway, I ask her just about anything I want to ask her. So yesterday I asked her what caused her to shift gears and fly right over into her future plans. And she was talking about how she gave me a great answer. And this answer resembled how her mind unlearned fear about a condition in her life. So I thought to myself, I can't think of anybody better today who's going to open us up with an affirmative prayer for today's talk. So she's going to open it because we're talking about unlearning fear. So, by the way, Reverend Karen, why don't you go ahead and do the prayer and bring us up?
Thank Thank you, Reverend Rosedale. My goodness, you always have such beautiful introductions. Unlearning fear. As we go into prayer, we go into prayer with the sight of God, of spirit, whatever we call that creative power of life, knowing that is the source for life, of life. It is the source for each of us. It is that power that gives us the strength and the wisdom to unlearn anything that is negative, that holds us back, that stops us from going forward. And in that beauty of unlearning what is not good for us and learning the good and the brave and the going forward in love with God, I feel that presence within me as I go forward, as I keep unlearning fear every day of my life. And I absolutely know for each and every one of us that that presence is within each and every person here this morning, watching this later, each and every person that we know in our lives. All life has that powerful presence, that powerful light of God within us. And that powerful light is what helps us to unlearn and to relearn the beauty of life, the power of life, that fear has no place in except to keep us safe. And knowing this, my prayer for each of us today is to listen to this beautiful message from Reverend Rosedale as God speaks through her heart to each of us individually and as a whole. And we get the message that we need to hear. We get the message that fills our heart and brings us through that door of unlearning fear, through that door of learning the power and the love that is within us, that light that shines through each of us. And knowing this, and in great gratitude for this message today, for being a part of this beautiful family in CSL Charlotte, please join me as I release this prayer into the beauty and the power of the manifestation of God's law. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Reverend Karen. All week you've been talking about this talk without even realizing it, because now you also came to mind when you said that fear is the reason why people fear is because it's important. Boy, that prayer, you are walking your talk and talking your walk. So thank you, Reverend Karen, for that prayer. Awesome. So, next on our platform is is the Big A, aka the A Team. That's my right hand man, and he's someone who I'll never forget. He reminds me of being the hands on my wrists. Like, gotta love this guy. But you know what? Speaking of unlearning fear, I watched him unlearn it. And I'm telling you something, he knows how to unlearn it. We all going to learn. We all have fear. Fear is never going to go away. But I watch when he come upon his own conditions and how he unlearns that, oh, I was supposed to be fearful. Oh, okay, didn't do it. Great. He gets beyond, he gets on the other side of that thing. So it's so fitting for him to do the reading today, because his reading is entitled Fear. So after you hear Alan, I invite you to listen to the song Tapping. Now, this Tapping by Charles Holt. Use your imagination and really understand who is he talking to. Because when you listen to him talk about tapping on his head, his heart, and his mind, trying to get him to do what he needs to do, you'll begin to think about fears and how you have them and how you can unlearn them. And you'll know that today. So I invite you to take the words of Alan's reading and take that song to the heart and allow Alan to do his thing. So Alan, please do you.
Wow, thank you so much. And the title of today's reading is Fear, written by Melody Beatty from her book, The Language of Letting Go, Hazelden Meditation Series. Do not be too timid and squeamish about your actions. All life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better. What if they are a little coarse and you may get your coat soiled or torn? What if you do fail and get fairly rolled in the dirt once or twice. Up again. We shall never be so afraid of a tumble. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Fear can be a big stopper for many of us. Fear of fragility, fear of failure, fear of making a mistake, fear of what others might think, fear of success. We may second guess our next action or word until we talk ourselves out of participating in life. But I failed before. I can't do it good enough. Look at what happened last time. What if? These statements may disguise fear. Sometimes the fear is disguising shame. After I finished the first 2 chapters of a book I was writing, I read them and grimaced. No good, I thought. Can't do it. I was ready to pitch the chapters and my writing career out the window. A writer friend called and I told her about my problem. She listened and told me, those chapters are fine. Stop being afraid. Stop criticizing yourself and keep on writing. I followed her advice, and the book I almost threw away became a New York Times bestseller. So relax. Our best is good enough. It may be better than we think. Even our failures may turn out to be important learning experience that lead directly to and are necessary for an upcoming success. Feel the fear, then let it go. Jump in and do it, whatever it is. If our instincts and path have led us there, it's where we need to be. Today, I will participate in life to the best of my ability. Regardless of the outcome, that makes me a winner. And so it is.
It's wonderful. So just relax your eyes by looking into your lap or closing them if you choose. Now, breathe in really deep and really long. And as you inhale, what is spirit, God, the universe, source, whatever you call it, constantly tapping on me for? Just think about that. What is it tapping for me to do? Is it tapping on your head? Is it tapping on your heart? Is it tapping your consciousness? If you have agitated or frustrated feelings, it's reminding you that there's something you need to do or maybe didn't do right, and you always have a chance to do it over. So it's always telling us what to do. And frustration and agitated feelings sometimes, they also help us do what needs to be done. All we got to do is let the tap or the nudge push us. That's all. Spirit is the one that's tapping on us. And that's the reason why sometimes we don't feel good about things sometimes. So, what we're going to do today is just think about what our fears are. What fears are blocking us from having a successful life or a successful business or whatever there is that we can possibly think of. And then once we do that, we will then open ourselves up to the place we need to be for the rest of the day. So the first thing we want to do is wiggle our fingers and our toes, taking another deep breath, and just be present for the moment while I take my gratitude moment. And first I give to our fabulous MC and my prayer partner, Dr. Wanda, a big old thank you for that beautiful opening that she gave us. And the talk topic, Unlearning Fear, came to life with Alan's reading, Fear by Melanie Beatty. So thank you, A-Team. So to our awesome Reverend Karen, thank you for your heartfelt prayer. It really opened the door to unlearn more of my fears personally. So thank you so much. And speaking of prayer, our team is always holding the light over our service today. So meanwhile, I'm going to continue to stay in gratitude for all of the people that constantly call saying that they are feeling great. They are healing. There are great things that are just happening just this past week. So for those of you who would like to experience any types of healings, just join our consciousness meetings, and you'll also hear about that a little later on too. Now, what I want to talk about unlearning fear. It has a lot of requirements, this unlearning fear. And some of them are confronting our fears directly. Another one is challenging our beliefs and our assumptions and seeking our expectations. What are they? Because those expectations that we have and we listen to the tapping pushes us right out of our comfort zone. Once we get out of our comfort zone, it's sink or swim. So no matter how you slice it, unlearning fear can be a very, very difficult yet daunting process or practice. So if you have a particular fear and it has been ingrained from a child, we really got to dig deep. Either way, every time we practice, we let go of our fears and we approach life with more open and curious mindset. But it's the mindset that Reverend Karen and I was talking about that yesterday. It's the mindset that changes, that causes us to shift gears, shift down over here. That's unlearning your fears, because the moment you begin to shift down and change, you had just unlearned that was supposed to be something I feared. See, I've been feeling a new term of endearment for spirit this week because I always change the name and the feeling of it. And so the divine mother principle is something that I've been using to symbolize the power this week and of creation, of transformation. And I did that for myself. The divine mother principle is present all the time to inspire me to view my fears as opportunities for growth and transformation. Reverend Karen, she shared something really interesting once again in the consciousness meeting last week. She said something about opportunities for growth when we talked about what we were talking about. But there it is. Once she said that, my consciousness went right to, the divine mother principle is the thing that gives us this opportunity. And that's another thing for me to do it, because I associate the divine mother principle this week with these qualities like compassion, like forgiveness and acceptance. And that is how I became more secure and confident about something I had to do this week. See, but to me, by surrendering to the divine mother principle and allowing it to speak to me, to hear me, to let me move and have my being through it, to do all the things that I did, to make the decisions I had to make, I had no choice but to let go of any attachments and any fears. Because once you step out there, you got to go do this thing. So I embraced my full potential, and then I was just over it, ready to step in. So when we are in the unknown and we are feeling fearful, overwhelmed, and confused, we got to do something. We have to come up with some idea. So I use the divine mother principle as an energy that helps us, that helps me actually. I don't know what you use, but it helps me to recognize that this is a fear, but it's an opportunity, what Reverend Karen was talking about, for transformation. So yes, it's fearful, but it's an opportunity for transformation. Now, this all became a reflection for me this week because we found a temporary space, for example, and we're moving from exclusively being a virtual community to a hybrid community. And so what came to mind when Alan told me about his reading was that first paragraph, and it really helped me to see more. His thing said, fear can be a big stopper for many of us. Fear of fragility, like you might think you're too fragile to do this thing. Fear of failure, like you might think if I get out there and decide that it's not going to work, so what if you fail? Big deal. That doesn't mean you failed. That just means that, oh, that's not the way to work that. But fear of making a mistake, fear of what others might think, fear of success. Ooh. We may sometimes second guess what is our next action or what's the word that we're going to take until we talk ourselves all the way out of this beautiful thing that we were about to participate in because we got all these fears. So here's my deal. I spend a lot of time in and out of places, talking to people, asking a lot of questions about how to find space for CSL Charlotte. After I finally found this space that finally felt right, the first thing that happens is I started to recognize that fear was asking me questions. And the mother principal was saying, giving the answers. So the fear would ask something like, you got to play games with your mind. The fear would ask something like, what if you don't make it this time? And if I answered that, I would have been totally crazy. It asked me, how are you going to do it? How are you going to get all this stuff done? Now, all humans go through that, but that's the learned fear stage. When you start asking those questions, how are you going to do this? Those are not the questions that are going to get you to succeed. They're going to help you talk yourself out of this wonderful thing. And that's what I loved about Alan's reading. So we have to unlearn fear as fast as we can when we go to make these great decisions. Now, I could have sat there and tried to answer some of those stupid questions, and they were all, knowing they're all coming from fear. But I call them stupid because I have no respect for those questions. Those questions just don't, no reason to respect them. Those stupid questions are not facts. That's what I call them. And it makes me move forward. Some people would say, well, don't say stupid, but you know what? I say what I want, and it gets me where I got to get, right? So anyway, they're inquiries. That's all these questions are. They're inquiries, they're seeking information or some type of clarification. But see, when you clarify them, what happens is you qualify your fear. And see, here's the deal. I don't want to do that. So this is another thought about all that. In order for me to answer a question like that, it has to be considered the truth. And it has to be accurate. And it has to be based on verifiable evidence or information. And none of those questions could give me anything that was true. Failure, that wasn't true, right? But then the mother principal kicks in and she reminded me that those are just thoughts. At least that's what I listen to. So I allowed that mother principal to kick in and I listened to that conversation run through me and it sounded a whole lot like this. I thought about, you know what? Well, at least you don't have to pay $500 a week like you used to pay in those hotels when you went hybrid the first time. You found out what didn't work. You found out what does work. So that's a good thing, right? So there's nothing for you to fear because you are paying way less to get out here and do it. And if you want to call it an experiment, call it an experiment. And then later on, I began thinking, wow, you have so many opportunities to do other things in this physical space. You can have events to introduce you, to introduce everyone on your team. You can introduce the world to CSL Charlotte. And I allowed the mother principal to pour those thoughts into my head. And that was my spiritual practice, to shift gears and listen to something else and call it the mother principle, divine mother principle. Now, I could have talked myself out of participating in life if I didn't think about using something like the divine mother principle for myself this week. So instead of sweating stuff, instead of wondering about how and why, just say, let's do this if you are up to it. If you're ready, let's do it. Now, I see how I learn fear. So I also know what it takes to unlearn it. See, I challenge you to do the same thing. Know what it takes to unlearn your fears. See, knowing how happy we choose to be is a great way to see where we want to be. See, it's just a matter of remembering to stay connected and stay into that energy that you are using when you practice. My practice this week was my divine mother energy, right? You can use whatever you use. It's just a matter of reminding ourselves, like tapping, to tap into it. Allow them to tap you and remind you that, dear, this is where your power is, in here, not over there, not with him or her. Where is all your confidence and clarity? In here. But you have to be willing to accept that, right? So just develop self awareness and self compassion. And when you do that, all the willingness you have comes to life. And get that confidence and clarity you need to live your manifested life. Now, see, accepting could mean something like you allow your inner power and wisdom to tap your head, to tap your heart, to tap your consciousness. That way, you hold yourself accountable to do the things you need to do. And this way, you manifest what you want. Accepting also means that you have to change what you've been doing. Clarity, courage, and confidence are often mistaken for an easy pill instead of doing what needs to be done. People who are looking for an easy pill are those who ask lots of questions. They get responses to the answers and they actually do nothing with it. That's not what clarity, courage, and confidence is all about. They say things, these people, oh, I need clarity before I can move forward. Oh, I need trust so I can have the courage to move forward. Oh, I need confidence so I can move forward. But see, I know what you've said it. And I know you've said that a lot of times in your life because you're human. And I know I have said that a lot of times in my life. I just got tired of saying that nonsense. This is just me. If I allow that to go on, it's just me accepting learned fear. And that's not what we're accepting. We're accepting some principle, some practice, or something other than the learned fear. And that could be just simply accepting the power within has all the answers, and it also has the right steps for us in that moment to unlearn our fear. See, there is no easy pill, guys. You just can't swallow some pill and everything changes and your life changes and you got this big old splash in the world and you made a difference in your greater life. No, there's no pill for that. And to develop a relationship with the divine mother principle or the relationship with your spiritual practice and to learn to trust in that energy within you, me, and all around us. See, we just have to practice. And practice, Dr. Wanda and I were talking about, practice feeling less threatened by the unknown or by situations that trigger those fears. There's a lot of situations that can trigger your fears. Here's an example of a song that I'm just thinking about when I think about that. She said, I used to bite my tongue and take the breath before I could even truthfully speak something up. Oh, I couldn't speak up. You know, that was because she was afraid to rock the boat and make a mess. She felt like, oh man, if I speak the truth and I let them know, I'm gonna be rocking the boat. But she don't realize that the boat was rocked before she got there. But so somehow she learned how to allow her own feelings to get hurt. To keep from getting hurt, she decided that she would, instead of not hurt their feelings, she decided that she would allow her feelings to be hurt. That song is so powerful. You're going to hear about that song. But have you ever had people push you past your breaking point? Well, that's also a known fear. Because when people keep continuously pushing you, you're not going to do anything because you learned that I can't do anything to them. I can't hurt them, you know, but you're going to do what you got to do. That's what unlearning fear needs to take precedence in your life. So I challenge you to come on and challenge yourself. Now, see, that's the way to do all that is to sit down and make a plan and move forward. But you gotta make a plan. If you don't have a plan, if you don't plan your daily meals of how you're going to eat, if you don't plan how you're going to run this particular business or run the play of your life, you got to sit down and know before you start doing it, I have a plan. Because you see, if you have a plan, the mistakes on that journey that you have and the shifts that you make to recover from those mistakes, they all play out perfectly, but they're just not considered failures. In other words, we got to stop worrying, and worrying is nothing but a dream, visualization, seeing what could go wrong. And if you could see how well it goes wrong, guess what? You get that wonderful dream that you're dreaming. Start dreaming and seeing it work out right. So we don't set it right, we see it right. Then you start taking steps toward unlearning your fears. Now, this is the thing. How do we do that? Well, for starters, we do it through spiritual practice, and we do it through things like meditation, maybe contemplation. Let's throw another word in there, intention setting. See, we tap into our creative energy to manifest an outcome that we're desiring. That's the foundation of spiritual practice. But then the thing is that remember to become authentic and genuine in the areas that you notice that you're not being authentic and genuine in. Last week, I remember saying when we are authentic and genuine, we tend to be more confident and comfortable in our own skin. Things also get better while you're unlearning fear. All you do is shift from your own learned fear to unlearning fear with spiritual practices. Then you're all set to become that champion. And you know what? There's a champion we're going to hear about right now in this next song, and it's called Raw by Katy Perry. And listen to the champion in her. Listen to her and feel that unlearned fear go somewhere. Just get it going and start learning a new love for yourself rather than a fear of yourself. And let's listen to this song as we get this champion going. She said, and you're going to hear me roar. Wow. And you know what? This is a saying that I have. If you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. Do you have that champion spirit in you? If you got that champion spirit in you, I want you to roar, man. Ooh, it's birthday, the birthday boy. Let him roar today. See, this is a wonderful thing, guys. So anyway, she also went from zero to hero. So you can do it too. So let me give this back to our MC. Well, you know what I always say, community that prays together stays together. So yes, thank you, Mo, for those beautiful numbers that we're getting. 390 is really not that hard to get now. Once we go live, woohoo, we're gonna get them going on. So I expect you all to do that. So now I would like to put this time for the birthday people. This is where we celebrate birthdays. And so the thing is, you all know your birthday and you know what day it is. So just jot it down in the chat, or either if you're on Zoom, put it on there and let us know your birthday. So I'll just ask you to take a moment to jot that down. All righty, moment's up. So anyway, I got a birthday in the house, and I like to do one every single week. But you know what? This birthday is for the Horace the Bush. He's the bush that makes sure all the leaves stay intact in the service, you should hear him bossing us around. Hurry up, 2 minutes, like that. That's him. He's running the show there. So I'm so proud of him to have another birthday. And after all the stuff he made it through and how strong he is moving through another year around the sun. So Horace, we want to say to you, happy birthday. So let's celebrate his birthday real quick, Alan.
Happy birthday, Horace the Bush.
Yay, happy birthday. So we can't sing together, but at least we can do it like that. So that made it good. I see you smiling, Horace. Very good. So that all said, you guys, the next thing I want to do is, you know what? I want to actually thank everybody on this fabulous platform today. I want to thank Mo for doing all of the beautiful prayers that she does every single time they come in. If you have not received a prayer from Mo, that's because you didn't put in a prayer request. So put it in. You will be surprised at how much better you feel just putting it in someone else's mind to know for you. So I want to say thank you, Big A, for that reading. You did a fantastic reading there. And Timmy P, those announcements are just slam dunk and so on time. We got everything all figured out and they're so professionally done. Guys, also, Timmy P does our page, the YouTube page, and he keeps it intact. You gotta go. It's so professionally done. Go look at it. And while you're in there, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're in here on YouTube and you're watching, go ahead and subscribe. Our goal is to get 1,000 subscribers to put CSL Charlotte up in the runnings there on YouTube. So thank you, Groovy G, for keeping us informed and keeping our little thing going on. You also keep me on my toes as well, and you keep our sound in check. And Reverend Karen, that prayer was just phenomenal. And of course, Dr. Wanda, you did something you ate something right this morning to do the MC. You did it so lovely and so succinct. It was so beautiful today. So wonderful. Not that it's beautiful. It's not all, but it was beautiful today. So anybody I'm missing, I better not be. And if, like I said, got to put that prayer request in. And I would suggest you did it today. All you have to do is go out to cslcharlotte.org, and there it is. You can put in a nice little prayer request there for your whole entire situations, whatever it is. It makes you feel so much better when you read something for yourself. So know that. And the same thing about staying here at the end of the service. Stay for that lovely feeling that you get, even if it's a 3 minutes. That 3 minutes could give you a whole dose of for a whole entire week. And of course, you can always come back next week to repeat that again. So here's another thought. What could be better than listening to a live prayer rather than going off this air and just still having that same thing just in your mind? So take it out of your mind and put it in someone else's mind today. 3 minutes is all it takes. So that all being said, we're going to close out now. Just remember this week, you're on the path of unlearning fear. And fear is never going to go away. Don't forget that. And one more thing before Reverend Karen pays us off. Praise us out, right? And that is, I love technology. I see things on the screen. And that is to say that we're going to get the prayer done by Reverend Karen in right after this next song. And that means that when you're unlearning fear, you have to learn bravery to some degree. You have to deal with confidence. You have to deal with the courage that it takes to do what you got to do. And guess what? Bravery is what we're asking you to have for this week as this week comes up. So listen to this next song and really be brave. Who's brave? Who's brave? Everybody. Thumbs up if you're brave. Yeah, everybody's brave. That's what I'm talking about. So anyway, with all this great bravery and unlearning fear, we did very well today. I would even say, venture to say that I did very well with the craziness that's going on. I don't know if you saw the thing that's telling me I'm freezing, my internet is unstable, but guess what, guys? You still got the point, and I'm very glad that you did. So that said, we're going to let Reverend Karen pray us out.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm in such a beautiful mood right now dancing to that song. And are we ready to jump into prayer and to live our champion spirit? As Reverend Rosedale said, so many words that were buzzwords and flashcard words that I wanted to put in the prayer, but I can't because I can't remember them all. But anyway, we're going into prayer right here, right now, jumping into God, knowing that God is that beautiful dancing spirit that's within each and every one of us. It is our joy and our laughter and our movement. And that is God. That is all God. It's all our creativity. And it's beautiful. And it's fun. And it's laughter. And it's living. And it's life. And knowing that and feeling that through me right here and right now, through this whole service, through all the songs, through the prayers, the readings, everything that have been done here today, knowing that my family at CSL Charlotte is what feeds me. It is what puts that energy into me. It is my lifeblood. It is my soul and my spirit. And absolutely knowing that, my prayer for all of us is to live the champion spirit. As Reverend Rosedale said, the champion spirit is within all of us. Don't let it go to the side. Don't put it in a cage. Don't lock it away. Live it. Live the champion that you are, that I am, that we all are. That champion spirit is the God light within us. It is that powerful, beautiful inner light that shines in us since the moment we are born. Before we are born, while we're in our mom's wombs, we have that light of God. It is that champion spirit light. It is that beautiful thing that pushes us through fear, that has us live our lives. Take this message today. It just has me on fire, and go out and bring it into your life. Take it out. Take it out of your mind and put it into another mind. and to other minds all over this world, because we all need to share. We all need that love. We all need that champion spirit. So help us guide someone who might be afraid to live it, to help them see it and know it and shine it. So in ending this prayer, well, there's no end to prayer. Prayer is continuous. As long as we're breathing, we're praying. So absolutely knowing that, and in gratitude for so much this morning, for starting my week, my day with CSL Charlotte and this beautiful family, this beautiful message from Reverend Rosedale. Join me as we release this prayer into the beauty and the wonder of manifestation of the law of God. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is, everybody. Yay. So that all said, that was a fabulous prayer, Reverend Karen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And well, so with that said, guess what? I'm gonna say, have a fabulous week. Take that champion spirit of yours and live it up to the full, and learn what your fears are, and come back next week. So anyway, with that all being said, talk to you guys later.